Welcome back, explorers. I'm Robert, and today we're stepping into something a little different.
And I'm Marlene. I like that. A quiet shop. Because this isn't, a big launch with flashing banners. It's the opening of the Lemurian Frequencies Resonance Lab's Patreon shop, and it's intentionally subtle.
Yeah, this thing kind of tiptoes into existence on purpose. Instead of a product line, it's more like a contemplative space, a container where sound fields just live and unfold slowly over time.
If you've spent any time in the sound healing or frequency world lately, you've probably seen the opposite. Miracle tones, instant breakthroughs, listen once, transform your life kind of headlines.
Exactly. Urgent promises, countdown clocks, almost like you'll miss enlightenment if you don't click in the next 10 minutes. Lemurian Frequencies deliberately steps away from that. These sound fields aren't framed as cures, treatments, or quick fixes. They're fields, environments you can sit inside, not solutions you're supposed to consume.
And that difference is huge. The Patreon shop isn't trying to sell transformation. It's giving you access to carefully constructed resonance environments you can explore on your own terms, your pace, your space, your beliefs. No prescription, no required narrative.
I love that the whole thing moves slowly and speaks quietly. There's no drama, no, this is the one frequency that will fix everything. The work is allowed to stand on its own without big stories wrapped around it.
That quietness actually fits the deeper myth behind the project too. Lemurian Frequencies draws on this idea of MU, or Lemuria, not as, we found the lost continent, here's the GPS coordinates, but as a kind of remembered state of coherence.
Yeah, think of Mu as a mythic memory where sound, awareness, and environment were experienced as one interconnected fabric. Whether you take that metaphorically, philosophically, or as some kind of deep cultural memory, it's pointing to a world where sound wasn't background noise. It was part of how reality was felt.
And the shop becomes a really modern, really grounded way to revisit that possibility. Not by claiming to recreate ancient Lemurian technology or anything, that would be a stretch, but by saying, we can explore frequency relationships now, carefully and humbly, and see how they affect our perception and inner coherence.
So if you picture this Patreon shop, don't imagine a flashy spiritual mall. Imagine a small archive at the edge of Mu. Quiet shelves of sound fields, each one a different resonance environment you can step into when you're ready, without anyone shouting at you to hurry up.
And no urgency, no limited time window, no pressure. It just sits there, available. You can arrive when you arrive and listen when you're actually able to listen, not when the algorithm tells you to.
So let's walk inside this little shop for a minute and talk about what's actually on the shelves, these sound fields themselves.
Yeah. In the Resonance Lab, each preset is built as a kind of focused frequency environment. There's attention to which frequencies are used, how long they last, the repetition patterns, all that technical detail. But what you won't hear is just as important.
Right, there's no music, no guided voice, no affirmations hidden in the background. That's intentional. Music can steer your emotions into a story. Language can plant expectations like, you should feel X now. And this project is trying really hard not to do that.
So what you get is a neutral, resonant space. It's basically you and the field. No narrative pushing you toward a particular meaning or outcome. You're allowed to notice whatever you notice, or nothing at all, and that's valid.
Now, the first big category in the shop is called the Physical Support Series. And I really appreciate that they started there, very grounded. Before going into symbolism or cognition or more abstract themes, they're saying, let's acknowledge the body as a resonant system.
Exactly. The physical support presets are designed around relaxation, nervous system settling, and just general physical ease. They're not positioned as medical alternatives or interventions. They're companions to rest and self-care, something that can sit alongside whatever other wellness or medical support you already have.
And there's a structure to how things are offered. Instead of random tones tossed into a feed, the shop organizes presets into curated bundles, little thematic clusters within that physical support arc.
Each bundle holds sound fields that share an underlying intention, but there's no hierarchy. You don't have to complete level 1 to move on. One bundle doesn't outrank another. They all just add to this wider spectrum of physical resonance you can weave into daily life as needed.
In terms of how to listen, the guidelines are beautifully modest. Play one preset at a time, keep the volume low and comfortable. Leave space, actual quiet, between sessions. There's no push toward marathon listening or cranking the volume to feel more.
Yeah, overuse isn't presented as a badge of honor. The emphasis is on gentleness and consistency, respecting your own perceptual boundaries. It's more sip slowly than chug the whole bottle.
And this ties back to how they view the body, not as a machine to fix, but as an instrument that sometimes drifts in and out of tune. Stress, aging, environment, those all impact the system. Sound here is just a subtle environmental input, an invitation for the body's own balancing processes, not a command.
So when they say sound fields, not cures, they mean it. These are tools for calm experimentation and reflective listening. You're encouraged to notice your own responses over time, without someone promising you a guaranteed outcome on a specific timetable.
It's a really refreshing stance. Here are the fields, here are some pacing suggestions, and the rest is up to you, your discernment, your body, your experience.
Let's talk a bit about the container, because the choice of platform actually says a lot about the philosophy behind this project.
Yeah, they didn't just throw this onto a standard e-commerce site. Those systems reward speed, constant launches, constant promotion. It's all about optimization and staying visible in the algorithm, which is kind of the opposite of slow, reflective listening.
Patreon, on the other hand, is more contained, almost like a stable archive. New sound fields can appear gradually, without pressure to escalate or outdo the last release. It's less content treadmill and more library that quietly grows.
And then there's the way the presets are offered. You don't have to be locked into some always online app. The shop gives you standalone MP3s you can download, keep, and play offline.
That really supports autonomy and privacy. Once you've downloaded a preset, it's yours as a private resource. You can use it in a dark room at night, on a plane, in a cabin with no signal, no logins, no feed, no community pressure.
And I like that access isn't gated by belief either. Some people might come from a spiritual angle, others from relaxation, others from sheer curiosity about sound environments. The shop doesn't ask you to sign up for a particular worldview to participate.
Which loops us back to MU. If we think of MU not as a lost landmass we're trying to recover, but as a remembered resonance, a way of being where sound, perception, and environment were more integrated, then these fields become a kind of sound as memory experiment.
Yeah, not memory as in this is the exact Lemurian frequency restored, because they're very clear they're not making those claims. It's memory in the sense that certain frequency relationships and repetitive auditory spaces might touch something familiar in us, some pattern of coherence we recognize without having words for it.
And they hold that exploration with a lot of humility. No miracle outcomes promised, no ancient secrets revealed at last. Just, here is a technically careful sound field placed in a quiet, stable container so you can see what, if anything, it mirrors back in your own awareness.
In a digital world that's constantly shouting for attention, I find it kind of radical that this shop refuses urgency. There's no race to get in. It'll be there next week, next month, evolving slowly as new bundles and categories appear over time.
So, if you feel drawn to it, the invitation is very gentle. Treat these presets as experiments. Sit with one field at low volume. Notice how your body, your thoughts, your sense of space respond. Or don't. Let your relationship with the archive grow gradually, without expectations.
Think of it as walking through a quiet Lemurian archive, picking up one resonance at a time, seeing which ones feel like home and which don't. No right answer, no required path.
And if nothing else, it's an excuse to reintroduce silence and subtlety into how we listen, which feels pretty rare right now.
We'll keep following how this Lemurian Frequencies library evolves, but for now, we'll leave you with that invitation to listen differently, without hurry.
Thanks for being with us in this quieter corner of MU today, Robert.
Always a pleasure, Marlene, and thank you all for tuning in.
We'll meet you back here next time. Until then, take it slow, listen gently, and goodbye for now.